used to be Hanna-Barbera in 1985, and then it switched over to Disney in about 1990, and then they started at that studio. They did a lot of Aladdin TV shows, and you guys remember that Aladdin TV show? And they did, and then they started.
What's your first show?
Oh, okay. My first show was I did training on Tarzan 3. So I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah,
No, Tarzan 2. Sorry, Tarzan 2. I was just gonna make the transition because we started off as a TV animation studio and then it moved to straight to DVD series.
Oh, awesome. So, what out of all your jobs, what do you reckon is the most and your favorite one? Both of you guys, I suppose.
Yeah, I really liked Doodles, which was my first one, and at the studio in Prince Edward Island, I'll just call it PEI from now on. We got a chance to do a My Scene Barbie cartoon, and that was like my first little nippet into like cartoons with toys involved and like big names. For some strange reason, it was a My Scene Barbie cartoon for Latin America, so it was all in Spanish. I have no idea how they got the contract, but it was fun, and that was also the first time, because it was such a small studio, we got to try a lot of different jobs. So I started with like, it was basically a cleanup job, so I would clean up what the animators drew. And I also, for the My Scene Barbie show, I got to do character designs and like costume changes, because Barbie has to change her clothes every second. So that was really fun, because I gave like one of the extra characters my haircut, and I was in Barbie. I gave them a lot of my clothes because, I don't know, it's just easier that way. And like other people in the studio would come by and say, I saw one of the characters wearing that shirt. I'm like, who do you think designed it? Yeah, so that was fun. And then when I went back to Vancouver, yeah, this is a nice story. I was still in PEI, and I happened to be wearing a Puka shirt. Do you know Puka, little Chinese girl with the red Korean?
They all look the same.
They all look the same. A little Korean girl with the black buns and a red shirt, and it's really simple. But I was wearing a shirt, and one of the guys at the studio said, do you know they're working on that in Vancouver? And I'm like, woo! And it turned out one of my guys one of the classmates that I went to animation school with was a supervisor on Puka, and he got me in. And then that was a really fun show. I got to work on season 1 and season 2 of that in Vancouver. Yeah.
So, same question for you. What?
Oh, and then My Little Pony was also my favorite.
That's the right answer in this.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Yeah, what's your favorite animating job?
So my experience at Disney, I got the opportunity to work on mostly movie sequels, but my favorite one that I worked on was Lilo and Stitch 2. I don't know if you guys seen that, or it's awesome. I think straight to DVD sequels have that stigma of being not as good quality. You know, I think you hated Little Mermaid 2 and 3 and Lion King 2 and all that stuff, but I think our studio in Australia was doing some really good stuff. We picked up a lot of the work, I think, because I think Canada was doing, and France was doing a lot of the movie sequels, but they closed them down and opened us up, and I think the quality really stepped up. I'm not sure why or how, but yeah, Lilo and Stitch 2 was really good. I think we tried to stay really close to the originals, and just the color styling on that. They did a lot of watercolor backgrounds, which is awesome, and just have the opportunity to be part of like the 2D animation world is just yes, it's an awesome experience, and it's unfortunate that it's not as popular and thriving as it used to be. But so that's my favorite 2D animated production, and also Puka was actually really awesome to work with as well.
What do you reckon is the coolest person you've met, both of you, while doing this? Like, for example, Walter Disney?
We met each other. Eh? Eh? Huh? And all of you guys.
So for a question that won't cause a rift between a couple if it's the wrong answer, what's the favorite character that you've animated? Hard question. Take a second to think about it.
Like on all the shows.
Every show.
Yeah.
We will
Puka-
talk about ponies later, but
Yeah. I liked animating on Puka, just the simplicity. The characters didn't have hands or elbows really. Like they were just like a body and stick arms and stick feet, and you could do a lot with them. And then, yeah, it was kind of the same on ponies. They didn't have hands, and that made it a lot easier. They started doing a lot of poof expressions, which I wasn't really fond of. But yeah, I did. Everybody at the studio is talented. Can't think of famous people. Yeah,
Go
I'm
back to
trying to go
Giesbrecht,
back
yeah.
to that. I did meet Lauren Faust once or twice. I remember being a real nerd and accusing her of changing rarity. Because, yeah, I think that was before the G4 toys were out, and my friend had given me the G3 rarity, and if anyone's seen it, it's like pink. It was like the first G3 unicorn, and she was so special, and she was pink and very pink, and her name was Rarity, and Lauren Faust came in, and I had my Rarity, and I was animating Rarity, new Rarity, and I said, "This isn't Rarity, this is Rarity," and it was horrible and dorky, and I did come to love new Rarity because, yeah, I animated her a lot. I got to animate her slicing off her tail to give to the sea serpent, and it just like broke my heart, and it was awesome, and yeah, I fell in love. Yeah, my fabulous mustache.
what about you?
Which question?
Just your favorite character and famous person.
Oh, yeah. I'll start with favorite person, because that was the first question.
Yeah.
I think just it's when you're working at a studio, everyone is just so amazing to work with. Like it's cool. Your colleagues are your inspirations, and so it's not. I don't really consider them like my favorite person is a celebrity. I think just the people you work next to, just amazing, talented people, and there's no one famous in that sense. It's cool to see Daniel Ingram walking around the studio. Kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
You guys know who Daniel Ingram is?
Yeah.
He's the music guy, I guess, for those of you that didn't know. And
Every time I met him, it would be in the morning before I had my coffee, and I like met him in the elevator a couple times, and like 2 minutes before on my way to work, there would be Love is in Bloom on my iPod or something, and I wanted to tell him, but before coffee, I'm just like not functioning very well at all, so I would just like say hi, and that's it. And it was kind of cute. I remember, I don't know if I'm say all this, whatever. We were watching the animatic for, I think it was the wedding finales, and Daniel Ingram kind of went just to see, because he'd worked on all this music for so long, and it takes a while for them to draw pictures to it and come together. So yeah, it's kind of neat. I guess we're kind of near the end of the process, but he's way at the beginning, and just to see all the flow.
Cool.
I tried to get Mandy Moore to come into the studio at Disney, because we worked on Brother Bear 2 as well. It's the bear movie.
Yeah.
And Mandy Moore was one of the voices, and I think I was 19 at the time, and I was really infatuated with Mandy Moore. so you didn't know this, huh?
I knew you were in love with her, but
I didn't say in love. I was infatuated. It's different. Yeah. But because at our studio at Disney, like all the storyboards were done in LA, and the voice acting was done in LA, and all the like kind of physical work was handed to us in Australia. So there wasn't really a connection with like the voice actors or anything. But I was 19, and I wrote her a letter like, "Hi Mandy Moore, I'm an animator, and it'd be awesome if you could come to Australia and all that stuff." And I sent it, but it never went anywhere. So almost met Mandy Moore, I guess. And as for favorite characters, back to Lilo and Stitch. yeah, I'm not sure you're familiar with the story, but there were these two other aliens besides Stitch. It was Pleakley and Jumba. There's a really big guy and a really small guy. And because that movie has humans and aliens, the aliens were really fun to animate because they really wanted a specific style for them. For example, Pleakley had 3 legs. So, like, have you ever seen anything with 3 legs walk? It's crazy. So they spent time and time developing the style of how a 3-legged character would walk, and it was really cool. And Jumba had 4 eyes, and they made sure that every time he blinked, it would never be like this with both his eyes. It would always be like bloop, 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 bloop. And that was really, I think, it's just awesome to work on characters that were so unique in that way. And also, I hate to sound like I'm repeating Wally, but Puka is really fun to work with as well. And the contrast is with 2D animation, like the traditional style where it's like really full and hand-drawn and stuff like that. You got to put so much detail into each drawing and the motion and action. But with Puka, like Holly was saying, they have no elbows, they have no hands and all that stuff. So it's challenging to try to get the same kind of emotion and expression and action with such a limited shape. So that was really, really fun to work with as well.
If we asked you really nicely, would maybe one of you guys later on draw something up on the board for us?
I tried drawing something at Animania. They had like a giant sheet of paper, and I tried to draw a rarity, and it was really not very good.
If you drew a stick figure, these guys would probably still cheer.
You're really good at drawing the ponies. You are. You're really good at drawing.
Could you draw? Could you draw Jumbo?
They're repeating us outside, are they? Oh, that just
Wait, are you really?
If you're outside, give us a hex yeah. Okay, maybe not. Weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Like 3-second delay. But yeah, so what do you reckon would be your like best animating experience? Like getting away from characters, specific characters, like more technical. Like when was the time? Looking for stories, pretty much.
Yeah.
Does anything very exciting happen when you're animating?
It's a lot of deadlines. Like a lot of the times, I feel like you don't. Sorry, that lag is creeping me out. A lot of times I wish I could put more love into something, and then I just don't get the time to do as much as I want to.
Yeah. On the side.
Yeah. That's kind of.
I just keep hearing my laugh, and it's driving me crazy. I just got a round of applause for something I didn't even say at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, what was the question? What did I ask?
You asked
Oh yeah, like, okay,
good
well then,
experiences.
yeah, just good experiences. Like, with deadlines though, have you ever missed one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, deadlines are missed. Deadlines are meant to be broken. I learned that they always give a little bit of a buffer between our deadline and the actual deadline, and once I knew that, that was kind of bad news.
There's something I've always been curious about, and it applies to both of you. When you animate, do you kind of each do your own bits and bring it all together, or do you actually kind of sit down and you're just like, so this is us animating, or is it this is us animating separately?
So in Flash animation, usually, so there's a team, and in a perfect world, they'll sit down and all watch the animatic together. So the animatic is the storyboard with all the voices and the cuts and the stuff. So it's pretty much put together how they want it to look. And so we'll sit through it and discuss like what's the hard bits, what's like a lot of action, what they want some subtleties to be. And then after that, they'll break it up, and everybody will hopefully get a certain amount of seconds that's yeah. So our quota was about 40 seconds of animation per week, and you just get what you get. Sometimes you'll get a lot of action, sometimes you'll get the slower scenes. They'll try and make it even for everybody. Action generally takes a lot more time because it's more movement. What was the question?
Favorite experiences, and then
Yeah.
drifted into
Stuff.
you know, say something?
You can take it.
So Holly's got a sore throat, and yeah.
Oh.
But I think I'll go back to favorite experiences. I would say just to be part of a community of talented artists is a really good experience. Kind of like when, growing up, you guys draw? Any artists out here?
Have you held a pencil?
Yeah. And so are you guys known as like the good artists at school? I think no. But you love doing it, right?
I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Crying.
That's why you break his hands. Huh? But so where I was going with that was just because I know there's a lot of creative people in the audience here, and sometimes you feel like you don't fit in school because you're different. You're the creative one, and everyone else is maybe a really good mathematician or a really good scientist or whatever, and it's just hard to fit in. And when you work at a studio, you're like, oh, you like cartoons too? I like cartoons too. That's why you're working together, So just to be part of a family, and in similar terms, being a brony, it's great because you're with the people that you have the same passions with, right? You guys agree with me?
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say something else on that. Yeah. Yeah, because my parents were always waiting for me to grow up, like grow out of cartoons. I never stopped watching cartoons in my teens and high school, and yeah. And then I went to animation school, and there was more people like me. And then I went to my job, and everybody had toys on their desk. And my parents came to visit the studio, and they're like, we understand now, like they're like you. And yeah. So that was really cool to just feel like I belonged and knew that I was doing something that I loved to do and something that I enjoyed all through growing up. And that was pretty cool.
I know it's going to be asked later on in question time, so I'm going to ask it now. Favorite pony? Dun dun dun.
Besides Holly Dash, I do like Rarity.
He's got a Holly Dash.
What?
He's got a Holly Dash.
Where do you see?
Represent.
Oh, woo. What are you doing with them all? What are you doing with?
Favorite pony for you? Spike.
Yeah. I think
You change your likes.
I
You
change
liked
it all the time.
you liked Fluttershy the other day after you watched her in Discord.
Yeah, man, she's so nice.
Yeah.
Like she's so patient.
It's like it's
really.
her thing or something.
Yeah. It changes. I think it. I used to really not like Rarity because I didn't understand her. See, I didn't understand her. I admit that, and she had to explain it to me. She's not.
She sacrificed her tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I learned the magic of friendship through that. So, yeah.
I do like Rainbow Dash a lot too because I admit to liking the G3 ponies. I liked that Rainbow Dash because she was blue with rainbows instead of the pink. Yeah, pink. So it was kind of cool that she was blue and she liked rainbows, and I like blue and I like rainbows. Best of both worlds, and I really liked how she evolved for the Friendship is Magic, because Rainbow Dash, you would think she would go fast. So I liked how they changed her for that.
Cool.
I think I'll reinforce why I like Rarity.
Okay.
Okay, because really, she's one of those characters where. Is it funny?
The funny thing is,
Yeah, come on. On the panel.
Good, now get out.
feels like a panel now.
What I might do is we got them to do their favorite characters, and yesterday when I was emceeing, there were a few people who probably didn't get to do this, but I've blocked this so they don't hear. So what we're gonna do is we'll shout out on the count of 3 our favorite ponies, and then we'll wait and laugh when we hear them like 3 seconds later shout out their favorite
Can we all
ponies.
agree on calling out Stephen Magnet just for a show?
Alright, so you're cool with that? Your favorite ponies on 3, alright? And yes, I am recording this. So, alright. 1, 2, 3.
That's singer.
I am not a thing.
It was really random.
Good, man. That's insane.
Do you reckon they have any idea what just happened? Don't explain it to them. Someone asks you, we just went, "Blah, blah, blah."
We all went crazy because of that.
Graphite sketch.
Graphite sketch.
Yeah, it's OC pony, I presume. Alright, so I think it might be time to open the floor to some questions, if you guys are okay. So, alright, you were first.
What's your name?
Rather than every one, seeing as you work on animating, you surely must be aware of who is responsible for the animation error with Jack with missing freckles. Yeah. Who is responsible?
So the question there was, does Holly know what animator was responsible for the missing freckles on
In
Applejack?
which scenario?
It was me. It was me. You can take it outside if you want.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't promise that I'll be able to answer all the questions. I did work on season 3, but that was a long time ago. And I can't answer any upcoming stuff, of course. And yeah, I haven't been at the studio since last July, so I don't really know a lot of juicy secrets anyways.
All right, I think Trixie.
Yeah, what favourite parts of MLP did you like animating? So like when the Sonic Rain Room happened, you were animating that.
So,
What parts did you like?
so what were your favorite parts of MLP to animate?
Yeah, so there's generally 3 teams. So for the first season, I did the flash builds there was 3 flash builders. So I built some of them, and then for the animation, I moved on to animation, and we only animated every 3rd episode, being 3 teams and all. So I really remember the first, we did the part 2 of the premiere. I can't remember episode names anymore.
Was it the first season?
The first
Friendship is Magic.
Friendship is Magic, part 2. I really remember animating Rarity because she was some of my first scenes, her and Stephen Magnet. So I really, yeah, I love that part. I love that part. What was the other episodes?
I know what episode.
I remember the.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that was only for layout though.
Big part of it.
The Running of the Leaves was a memorable episode because there was a lot of running involved. And it was very hard to make the ponies act while running because you get like the run cycle in Flash, and then to try and make them do other things was kind of getting difficult. What other ones? Oh yeah, we worked on the Discord finale. No, that was a premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us it was a finale because they tacked it onto season 1, but it became the season 2 premiere. Oh yeah, I got to do the where everybody's like not themselves, and then Twilight Sparkle is like necklace, 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 big tiara thingy. And that one. Yeah, I liked that part. That was pretty fun.
So to add on to that question, for both of you, hardest animation bit?
Yeah, the Running of the Leaves.
The
was
Running of the Leaves?
really hard. There's a few fun bits where Rainbow Dash is stuck in the mud, and yeah, that was me. That was pretty fun. And them, like, Applejack flying past her and them turning into a tornado and then going up a cliff and then going down the cliff, and yeah, that was really hard.
What about you?
I didn't really work. I didn't work on My Little Ponies.
Oh, just in general, hardest animating bit.
I think it's you know, besides deadlines, one of the challenging things that Flash has. Have you guys ever played with Flash or played around with Flash?
I have played with Flash.
So it's kind of the way the animation works. It's kind of a layering system where it's kind of like cutouts, pieces.
Paper dolls.
Yeah, it's like paper dolls where you got you know, like an arm behind a body and then a hand behind. So one of the challenging things is always just when a character rotates, you gotta
Yeah.
juggle a lot of layers. So that's one of the hardest things, but it's just a technical thing. Yeah.
Alright, so any other questions? Which I'm sure there are. Oh goodness. Do you want to pick one, Holly?
I think that guy had his hand up for ages. Yeah.
Woo!
Are there any other Canadians?
Whoa, Canadians.
One.
Where are you from? This is the Canadian test. I was thinking about this last night, if there, because I heard somebody say that there was a Canadian at the Ponycon.
Yeah, well, that's not me, actually. I remember hearing that as well. But, yeah.
No?
Do the secret handshake.
No, I wanted to do the secret. This is the Canadian test. Oh, you're too young.
Go back to the States.
No, that just means I'm too old. The answer to that, by the way, is Bob and Doug McKenzie, SCTV.
Oh, okay, that sounds familiar with that.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Next question. No, I'm sorry.
When did people at the studio learn about the fandom, and what was the general reaction to that kind of news?
That's a good question. So the question was like, when did the people in the studio actually learn about the Brony fandom, and what was the general reaction?
Okay, so yeah. No, I understand. It was crazy. Yeah, because we go on the internet too, and I think the directors were like kind of following 4chan a little bit, and they would.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, well, we are on the internet, like everybody else is on the internet, and so I remember I was following My Little Pony News, which was like the older generations of My Little Pony, and then all of a sudden Equestria Daily showed up, and they were much more with it. And yeah, every once in a while, if there was a funny link or a video on YouTube, they would send it around the studio, and everybody was going crazy because we couldn't believe the reaction, and it was awesome. But we've never worked on a show that's had this big of a reaction before. We also, May and I worked on George of the Jungle reboot, I don't know if anyone's seen that version. Yeah. And part of me was expecting that to be big, but it didn't really have a good reception. I thought it was fun. And then, yeah, with My Little Pony, it was kind of the same thing. It was another show being redone, and I didn't know if it would be liked or not. You just never know when it's starting. And then, yeah, there was just more and more. I remember going on YouTube and trying to find all, like, the fan-made videos, and then eventually I just gave up because it was insane, and I'm totally out of the loop now.
So
I was getting really jealous because I was working on Pound Puppies at the time, and it's also a Hasbro TV show. You guys don't even know what Pound Puppies is. It hurts. But
yeah, it's ads pop up at the credits.
yeah,
Right. Secret butt fun.
so then, it's kind of a rivalry between shows. Like I was working on Pound Puppy, she was working on My Little Pony, and then, you check DeviantArt and you see all this My Little Pony fan art, and then you open up and you type in Pet Shop, and Pound Puppies, and there's nothing. So I just noticed there's 3 hands up. So we'll get to those 3. Like, you know who you are. So you put your hands down because you're probably getting tired.
Yeah. So you've had your hand up for ages, so we'll get your question.
The guy with the glasses and the guy with blue hair. So yeah, we'll get to you.
Yeah.
Silver spoon?
So
I don't know.
who's responsible for the silver spoon blanking?
I don't know.
Can't answer that.
I was. You want to take it outside?
That was a really weird applause.
And then it was that guy.
Which gentleman? So what would be your favorite episodes that you've seen of MLP? For both of you, I guess.
I liked Sonic Rainboom a lot, and I did work on that. That's the one where, that was an awesome one.
Sorry, just to clarify, is this to watch or animating wise? Watch. All right.
The ones that my favorite ones that I watch are probably also the favorite ones that I've animated on, or like at least done the layout. And I guess it just makes it more personal, those ones. Yeah.
Sonic Rainbow? What about you?
I really like Swarm of the Century. Because there's a special feature, special character in that one.
Yeah. What was the time code? I remember you said to me, you knew it off by heart.
I knew that there was a YouTube clip of my 2 seconds of fame.
This her OC runs in the background of Swarm of the Century. You were being
I don't know
attacked,
the
weren't
time
you?
code.
You were being attacked.
Yeah, it was just one of the ponies freaking out in the background.
All right, so who was the next guy? Blue hair.
Goggles. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this in regards to ponies or anything? Just in general. So is there anything that like came to you as just work but developed into something that you loved?
Can't think of anything.
Made that.
Oh yeah. The episode where Spike gets greedy and grows really big, and then so I was doing layout for that, so not animation. And I had a bunch of the scenes where Rarity's wrapped up in his tail, and then all of a sudden he shrinks back to normal because they look into each other's eyes, and it's such a beautiful moment. And then they're falling, and then so they were falling, and then I got a revision back from my supervisor that the director wanted like tears going up, and the supervisor didn't really understand what that meant, and I'm like, you gotta have the tears going up. So that was a beautiful moment between me and Rarity again, because she's best pony. But
I think as an animator, there's a step before us called storyboarding, and what that like a storyboard artist would kind of draw out the episode like a comic book. And so when we get the scene to animate, the storyboard, we get maybe, just say a scene is 10 seconds long, we get 3 panels to it that kind of depict what needs to happen. But then, you know, between those 3 panels, if we're animating 10 seconds, there's still a lot of creativity that we have to come up with ourselves. So to answer your question, like when it becomes more than work is when we have to fill in what those other sequences could be. And for me, I really love acting scenes, you know, because you're creating an emotion with, you know, just a few lines, you know, that are drawing. So, you know, I think that's what I really enjoy doing. Yeah. Pick some people. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So-
Holly, you haven't picked anyone, have you?
Oh, because I'm keeping an eye open. I noticed that bloke with the white shirt, you've had your hand up for ages, and then we'll get a couple of people at the back over there because
Yeah.
we don't want to ignore you guys too.
In order. Yep. Ah, do you know who's responsible for the original Derpy animation?
No, I do not. That was one of the episodes that was animated by TopDraw. So it was either a layout artist in Vancouver or one of the animators in TopDraw. And the story is that it was meant to be closer cropped, and I think they just pulled it back a little bit, and so the eyes were probably off screen originally.
Yeah.
And then that's what I heard.
And then
So
you
part
have
2.
another one. So you have 2. So do you know who created or animated Octavia in the final episode, season 1?
I do not know. I think she was just one of the band members. And so all of the incidental ponies, they weren't created to be special or anything, but yeah, you guys really picked up on them. Yeah, yeah, I remember being on the My Little Pony Arena forum, I think, and seeing them start to name all the incidental ponies. And I had built a lot of the incidental, after one pony is built, it's basically recolor and rehair. And I had wanted to give them names originally, but I just didn't have time. I think I named, Colgate obviously looked like toothpaste to me too. Yeah, I wanted to name all the incidental ponies, but it wouldn't have been known because I probably wouldn't have said it anywhere anyways. So yeah, I thought it was crazy that they were naming them all. And then, yeah, by season 2, it's obvious that, yeah, everybody loved them, and just the tiny little things that they did in the background became their personalities for everything.
Alright, so your arms will get tired. We're gonna go you, and then you in the second last, and then white shirt behind him. Alright, so what was your question?
Did you guys animate that one during the sequence when Rainbow Dash was fixing the
Oh,
The question was, did you guys animate the scene where, or did you animate the scene where Derpy was it? I just don't know what went
Yeah.
wrong.
That was season 2, so that was all animated by TopDraw. My friend, I think, posed that one, but I wasn't on that episode.
Alright, so yep.
I do.
Do you want to fly to the castle?
Yes, I do want to fly to the castle.
And then behind you in the white shirt. That's a good question. So what's the best fan animation that you've seen related to MLP?
There are a lot of really good fan animations. There was one I watched last night with Octavia fighting a changeling. Yeah, that was really good. That makes me want to animate with pencil and paper again. That was awesome. Oh, there was the Cardcaptor Derpy one. The whole opening with Derpy. That was adorable. And there's been a couple of good Celestia ones. I forget. Yeah, those are the 2 that stick out to me.
Alright, and then you there at the very back. Yep. So what do you guys think of Friendship is Witchcraft?
I think I've only watched one episode of that. I haven't really been following that. Is there only 7? Oh, there's only 8? Okay. Yeah, I haven't really been... I know of it, but I haven't really seen it.
Alright. Go from the front. Yeah, so who's your favorite pony to animate?
They're all... like, yeah, their bodies are the same. Pinkie Pie is a good one because you can do whatever you want with her. She was actually really fun because you could go crazy with her and her hair was really bouncy.
Right. Oh, they've got it going again.
Let's go
Up,
these
yep.
two.
Over the side here. Do you read comics, and if so, do you have a favorite?
I read some manga.
It's Japanese comics.
I haven't really been into comics for a while. I just got the Unico comic from Kickstarter. That was pretty cool. Sailor Moon is awesome.
What comics do you like?
So yeah, I get creeped out with the cameras too. Yeah, I like a lot of the older ones, Sailor Moon, and I read Chobits and Ray Earth and Tsubasa a little bit, and yeah, those friendly, happy, nice, girly comics.
Yeah, just which one?
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So do you feel as though animators don't get enough recognition for the amount of work they have to do? Yeah, especially compared to voice actors.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, like in the States, it's all voice actors that get to go to cons. I think they're paid to do it. and I'm doing it because I'm in Australia, and and I thought that I needed to represent, and yeah, I don't know, it's just different because, well, me personally, I'm not as active on Twitter, and I have a DeviantArt, but I haven't updated it in a long time, and I'm really sorry. So yeah, Twitter is crazy with everything that's going on there, and I just don't know what to say. I don't think my life is interesting, or I can't, yeah. Voice actors are actors, so they're meant to be out there. Animators act through their drawings, I think, and I've heard that a lot. Like, we are actors, but we're really shy. So
Well, a lot of animators, you know, they study acting as well. Like, you know, a lot of times you might have seen in special features, you know, you got the animators actually standing up and acting against some mirrors like that. So it is, you know, we are actors as well. Just
but why aren't we at cons?
I don't know. But you know, that being said, you know, voice actors are very talented. Animators are very talented as well. But then there's other people, like, we couldn't, you know, there's the IT department, they help out too. We can't do it without them. And then there's, you know, just,
Accounting is in the credits.
yeah. So it's not just animators and voice actors, because then you might say, someone might ask at a IT convention, do you think animators get more credit than you IT guys as well? You know. So.
You made the computers, IT guys. They would be nothing.
But it's good question. Thanks for that.
All right, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 3. All right, so on the side here. So favorite species of pony and favorite to animate.
I don't know if I can pick a favorite species. Because unicorns are easy because they get to cheat a lot. and just make them float. Pegasuses are awesome because they can fly. And then, yeah, Pinkie Pie is awesome because she can defy whatever you want her to. And also Princess Celestia is very beautiful. And yeah, I can't really. Oh yeah, Cadence is nice. Actually, no, I was actually surprised at how well the wedding episode turned out because I thought it was like, yeah, she kind of looked very Valley Girl and he looked very like surfer dude, and then it all of a sudden turned awesome in the middle. So yeah, I like ponies.
She doesn't speak. She doesn't speak.
Who speaks?
Oh, who's my name? Okay, forget
You
it.
don't know anything.
I don't know.
Alright, so we'll go to the side here. So thoughts on Double Rainbow?
I saved that and I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched Snowdrop either. I was going to, and then my phone didn't want to play it for me. I heard Double Rainbow was actually like Hasbro approved, so that was pretty awesome that they would support fan animation like that. And yeah, and just the whole thing, like I saw people start putting out the builds and start animating it on their own, and it's just it blows my mind how much stuff you do because of ponies. But I probably would do it a lot more maybe if I wasn't a part of the show. I could see myself doing fan art more and all this stuff. I like that.
Alright. Yep.
Okay.
Should we do it after or do you want to do it now?
We'll do it after.
Do it after.
I'll
Alright.
remember you.
There's been people
You're
waiting for
Hank,
ages.
right?
We'll go, I know you, Melon, and then you there, and then we'll go to the front. Yeah, and then you. Okay, so. If you're exiled on an island, you can only take 3 things with you. What would you take?
Like a real life island or a pony island?
We'll go with real life.
I would take my husband because
I can bring more stuff.
because he can carry a lot of stuff. This is it's a really weird question. Yeah, I would take. What else would I take?
Take Aladdin's lamp.
Boat.
Aladdin's lamp
I Dream a Genie.
and a really big boat.
Alright, who else is next? Then it was up
Who's
to you.
next?
Yep.
You have to let
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that, so just repeat it. I didn't hear it.
So she asked, what is the workflow between everything? No. So generally in a studio, I think the writers are first.
Yeah.
Writers are first, then voice actors. Writers at Studio B aren't at the studio, so they're everywhere. Voice actors are mostly based in Vancouver. Just gonna let myself stop speaking. Voice actors are generally in Vancouver, except for Tara Strong, who got a free pass. And then, so after voice actors, storyboards. So the voices recorded go to the storyboards, who do a lot of the work, like just
And they're
create.
in-house too.
Yeah, the storyboarders are mostly in-house. From the storyboarders, it goes to designers, or they kind of go work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Um, Designers design everything that you see, from the characters to the props to the backgrounds. From the designers, it goes to cleanup, who basically clean up the designer stuff in the nice lines, and then it goes to another person who does the coloring. It goes to the flash builders who set everything up. It goes to layout, who put like backgrounds and the ponies in it, or whatever, like for any show. They put the characters in it. They got to be the right size, make sure all the props are in there that's needed, and then it goes to animation, where they make it move, and then, oh yeah, there's animatic in there somewhere too. Yeah, so there's a lot of people. We're actually working in a studio in Melbourne right now on a new show, and it's a much smaller studio, so it's kind of neat to see some of the earlier steps. Like we hear the writers come in and like shoot story ideas across from each other, so it's kind of neat to see that side, because I've never been that far back in the process. And May's doing designs on this new show, and I'm doing the cleanup for it, which is a step before that I've never done before. So it's kind of neat to see the really early stages of like characters being developed. And for the main character, he went through, on the show that we're doing now, he went through about like 50 different phases, just developing and tweaking and making the hair a little bit different and trying these glasses, and yeah, so it's there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of people. Yeah.
All right, so just to let you guys know, we're only going to have like a couple more questions, so I'm going to focus on people who haven't asked before, and you were first before though.
I've seen stuff of it, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Anyone else here seen Snowdrop? Yes. No.
Alright, what do you do in high school? What is the criteria actually?
So like what
That's a good question. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So essentially what qualifications you need to be an animator?
You need to draw. Yeah, I grew up in a really small town, and there was one high school, and so I took art. There was no, like, I've heard in other high schools, like, they actually have animation programs and stuff. I never got any of that. We painted, like, one cell one time, but cells aren't generally used nowadays. Yeah, and I remember, my mom remembers too, going to the guidance counselor and saying, like, I want to get into animation, what do we do? And he had no idea. So that's when, yeah, I remember there wasn't Google. I think a Yahoo searched animation school in Canada, and there was one in Toronto and there was one in Vancouver that came up, and I had an aunt in Vancouver, so I chose that one. And I think there's animation programs in Sydney and stuff. I don't really
studying
know.
animation at the moment? Anyone? Sorry?
You want to?
Oh, okay.
Yeah? So, yeah, to get into the animation school, I know I had to provide a small portfolio of art, and they wanted life drawing, so yeah, what you're doing now is perfect. And then I just watched a lot of cartoons. And yeah, there wasn't really anything in high school. Like, I've heard people get like a bachelor in animation, but people who have studied animation for 4 years, and my course just happened to be 1 year, they're at the same level. And it depends on how much work you put into it, really. Yeah?
I would say just to be a stronger artist, or yeah, like just go and go out there and travel and take your sketchbook wherever you go, and don't be afraid to have adventures. And you know, the really great thing about drawing is you can draw your stories, right? So go out there and have stories so you can draw, and just constantly find things that inspire you, find things that keep you passionate, and you always got to be working on your craft. And because right now, you know, one of the hardest things when you're working animation is being inspired to go home and draw some more, because you spent so much of your day and energy working on someone else's project, and it's really hard to keep that energy. But you got to fight through it, and yeah, just keep being motivated. And you know, one of the things that I think about a lot is if I'm not keeping my skills up, and if I'm not developing myself, and someone else is, you know, I'm just feel like I'm always going to be behind someone. So yeah, just keep a humble attitude as well, and really appreciate other people's work and learn from them as well. So.
All right, so we'll take these last 3 questions, which are up here, and we'll go you first, then you, then you. And so what do you think of the recent cease and desist on Fighting is Magic?
I
And
think
how
it
do you
was inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say on that.
Yeah.
I think the work that went into it is inspiring. You know, all the fan art that anyone does is just incredible. That a TV show that it would inspire, like all the music that's being made, or the art that's being made, or the stories that's being made, like that's inspirational. But you know, when it comes down to the copyright infringement and laws and stuff like that, you can't top that. So it's unfortunate.
All right, so you back there.
Hi, Stephen.
That's a good question. So best or most memorable real life Brony interaction?
Yeah, I've had a few. They're all good. This one's soft. I went to Ashley Ball's band concert, Hey Ocean. You know
Any
Hey
Hey Ocean fans?
Hey Ocean. You got yeah. Ashley Ball is the voice actress for Applejack and Rainbow Dash, and she has a band in Vancouver called Hey Ocean, and they're awesome. So yeah, me and a couple friends went there, and we spotted like people with pony shirts, and we kind of waited until after to chat with them. But they were they were really cool. And Ashley Ball signed my Applejack figure. Yeah, because we don't usually get to talk to the voice actors. So that was, we told her that we worked on the show, and she was so sweet and nice. And we wanted to go see a voice recording, but we never got the chance. I remember, what else? Oh yeah, I've been like secretly infiltrating meetups here. I hadn't really been to an official meetup in Vancouver for some reason. But I moved here last July with him. We wanted
Sydney or Melbourne? Where are we?
We're in Sydney right now. Yeah, because his family's from Sydney and wanted to spend more time with them. So to just kind of do stuff, I found the Bronies of New South Wales page, and I kind of snuck into a meet at the Botanic Gardens one time. I was wearing this hoodie. I didn't tell anybody that I worked on the show. Yeah. And then we moved to Melbourne, and I went, we kind of did the same thing, infiltrated the Bronies of Melbrony page, and went to a beach meetup and just kind of hung out. And yeah, it's kind of fun because I'm a fan just like everybody else, and so I don't want to be treated any differently just because I worked on it, except for today maybe. But it's really cool to just like sneak in because I'm not famous, and just hear how much the fans love it, and it's awesome feeling. And I've had other random brony encounters. when I'm just wearing like a pony t-shirt and somebody says, nice shirt, and I say, are you a brony? And they have no idea that I worked on it, so I just like ask them like, oh, did you catch the finale, and how did you like it? And yeah, it's fun for me. Is that all? One more question?
I think we might have missed one question. Yep, that was you. So what do you think of Hasbro's reaction to removing Derpy?
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say on that. I don't know.
I always stick with sad but understandable. All right, good. Shall we get another round of applause?
I don't want to leave it on that note.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah.
You can say that again.
Huh? It was me.
So will you guys be hanging around after this? Because if anyone wants to come on and ask you anything else,
Yeah,
we can do so in person.
I can sit here.
Yeah. Cool. Because so thank you for coming to this panel.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you so
Good
much,
job,
guys.
Thank you.
team.
Thanks.